Gosh, that's amazing.
And that is so powerful. Don't you just love it?
Because that is empowering the individual.
Yes.
And they doing it, it's their success, like you saying, you get to observe.
Oh, and and I just love it. I'm a sucker for nice stories with good endings.
Yes, absolutely.
And the thing is, your life can have 20,000 good endings in your day.
Okay.
If you choose it. If you choose to see the growth points.
Sure, that's amazing.
There are so many thoughts going through your mind every moment of every day.
But how could you can't really monitor all of those.
You know what? They float in and out,
Mm-hmm.
and you just choose which ones you pay more attention to.
Oh, okay.
And then as well, often if we look at the judgment of other people and we listen to that, we start to use filters.
Okay.
And we filter what we think is the right thing to filter. But that might not be the right thing for you. It might be the right thing for someone else, but it might not be for you. So, once again, becoming aware of your filters. And I mean, there are so many filters. There's social filters, there's cultural filters, there's...
It's endless.
So it's so many. And I mean, with all the information on the internet and all that, there are so many things added that you can have as filters. And if you choose not to think for yourself, if you choose to embrace other people's ideas, and we do it naturally.
We do. We see it as a form of survival, actually. As far as I understand, we've got to conform to survive. But, like you said earlier, there's a but to it.
There's a but to it. So why that conformity to survive? Once again, if you look at ancient man, if you were part of a tribe, you had the protection of the tribe. And the moment you were ostracized, you were open for the lions or the
lions, whatever.
Exposure or whatever. So once again, it's a survival thing to kind of compromise and be part of the group and fit in. So now the balance comes in. If you think about that same grouping of people,
Exactly.
around the campfire, there would be one jester, one who's good at storytelling.
Exactly.
One
It gets everybody to laugh. And
yes,
engage.
the entertainer or whatever. And that person stands out, but is still part of the group.
Very interesting.
So it's about finding that balance where you have the safety
Of
the group,
but still you're an individual.
yes, and you still harness your individual talents, your individual gifts.
Oh my word, yes.
You know what? If we live our gifts, if we embrace our strengths, if we are not afraid to say, this is who I am, we give other people permission
To do the same.
to do the same. What would you like for your children?
That is fascinating.
So what are you showing to your children?
So if I'm living my fear, I'm teaching them
To live their fear.
But if I take courage, I give them that power to also take courage. Oh,
To
mom
be
did it,
that-
I can also
yes.
do this.
As die ou vrou dit kan doen, kan ek ook. If the old woman can do it, I can do it too.
Yes. But interesting to me because that means as long as you are alive, you need to be pushing
the boundaries.
a little bit uncomfortable, because otherwise you are not inspiring. And even if it's just the people in your family.
Yes. It's not even just about inspiring. It's about giving
Equipping
people
them.
to the permission to try and fail.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
we are brought up in communities where people are so afraid to fail. They'll rather die not trying than fail.
You're right, yeah.
And it is so important to realize you have to fail. You have to make the
push.
mistakes.
And see what's going on.
It's part of building character. Because if people just kind of fly through everything is easy. Everything just flows. You know, you just click your fingers and there it is, and it's happening for you, and you don't even have to think about it. You never learn to push through the obstacles.
But will you actually enjoy that thing? Yeah, you flick the fingers, here it is. But if I have to work for it, and I don't mean kill myself doing it, but push myself a bit, then if I come out the other end,
it's that
stretch. There's that satisfaction of saying, yes, I stood up, I did you know, I did attempt to jump off or ride a bike or whatever it may be.
It's a natural part. You know what? If you think about babies, if they're
so much
sitting,
to learn from babies.
I love babies. I don't want to have any more though.
But you don't mind observing them.
I love observing them and I enjoy what I learn from them. But luckily my boys are now all grown up. So there's a time, and I enjoyed them when they were there in that stage. But you know what? If you observe babies, you might have a baby sitting in a playpen or on the carpet or something, and they might have 10 toys around them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily want to play with the 5 right next to them. They stretch for the ones that are further away. That's natural. They naturally want to explore.
So when do we stop doing that? Because we don't want to do that. We talked about it. We don't want to push ourselves. We're scared. We're fearful. Isn't that sad though?
I think when there's a form of negative self-awareness that comes in.
So but let's rather not reach. Let's rather not push ourselves a little bit more.
And it comes a lot from the people around you. What people around you say. You kind of mirror yourself. You kind of get an image of yourself or a self-image from the reactions you get from people. And if that reaction is just be a good boy, don't move, don't think, don't do, just sit there like a zombie, which often happens when, if you think about all the poor over-medicated children in schools who sit there like zombies because of a lot of medication that they've been fed, so that they can be manipulated, so that they can be quiet and
not
pay attention or something like that. But often in those instances, they're actually not paying attention. They're just being zombies. Because some of the people, not only children, people, adults of all ages, children of all ages, some learn through seeing, some learn through hearing, some learn through doing, some have to move. If you have a child that needs to move to actually be able to learn, it's their preferred way of learning, and you tell that child to sit still.
And not to move.
Not to move. It's like you can just switch off their brains.
Well, they're not going to learn then, because you just said they learn through movement.
Yes.
So you stop the movement.
And they can't learn.
So that's like a child that wants to learn through listening and you decide not to speak.
Exactly. And they need to. And maybe they need to learn to hear their own voice even. So
Yes.
there's that beautiful resonance comes in as well.
Okay.
I remember one of my I used to do Toastmasters and stuff like that as well.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's why I said in the beginning,
Challenging,
which
that's
passions.
it.
I love challenging myself and just learning things. So one of the people that I kind of worked with, one of the kids that I worked with, was having difficulty remembering his lines.
Like
But
for
even
a
though
play or something.
for a
speech
or something, for a speech, and I believe in writing your own speeches. So it wasn't even a thing of someone else writing his lines for him.
He could not even record his own.
He could not record his own lines, recall it, and present it. And then we had the brainwave to go and stand in the shower. No water running, but an enclosed space.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So that he started repeating it for himself loudly, and he could hear his own voice
clearly,
resonate with his own voice, and actually feel the vibration in his body.
And what was the result?
Suddenly it could remember, because he was playing into his own strength, which was listening. So
and
that's
he amplified that by being in the shower and
hearing his own voice coming back, reflecting back to him.
That is fascinating.
Even if you take a glass like this and you do this, you actually get a reflection of your own voice back to you.
Yes,
so I don't know if you can hear the difference in my voice.
Yes, I can.
But my ears actually pick it up, because my ears are out here.
So now it is reflecting in the glass back to you. Yeah.
It's like when you take a cell phone and you keep it over the glass and the sound amplifies.
Yes, did they see? They show that on YouTube, don't
they? Yes. So it's the same. So that's, if you think about some children or adults as well, some people when they learn, they have to move while they learn. Some people have to talk. So they'll walk around and talk, or sit and repeat things, or others just need to read. And they don't have to do any of the others. So it's about becoming aware what works for you and what combination works for you. So maybe you're one of the people that have to look at it while you're writing and talking, and it all just comes together.
Maybe you just need to walk.
Maybe you need to walk. I know of people...
Or walk and listen.
Or be on the trampoline while you repeat things for yourself. And that motion...
Or like this other child, be in the shower and listen.
Be in the shower. Be in the moment.
The shower has brought on a whole new different meaning. It could be somebody's saving grace.
Yes. Fully clothed.
Yes, fully clothed. Now you're going in on your own.
Yes, definitely. But you know what? So if you become aware of the hidden gifts of the area around you, whatever that might be for you, and it might be totally different from what anybody else experiences. That is so powerful.
Because it's your experience.
It's your experience, and you can replicate it in other parts of your life.
Oh my word. So what you're literally saying is, if you're creating these little, if I can call it success experiences,
it builds a spiral of belief.
Like you said earlier.
And you then choose the belief. You can choose if you believe what you're thinking. So
absolutely.
For a very long time, I've had certain beliefs about the area where I live, because I don't necessarily fit in so easily. And then I realized, you know what, that is just a belief as well. And I might be robbing myself and other people of meaningful experiences.
My goodness. So, yeah, it has a ripple effect.
Yes,
Your decision has a ripple effect.
yes. And you know what? You could be the next Einstein, and you might be withholding that from the world just because you choose not to believe.
Well, but as far as my memory goes, Einstein was told that he couldn't do maths in school.
There's quite a few of these
versions, but something happened that he wasn't good enough for school, and look at how brilliant he really was. So
but he never stopped exploring. He never stopped noticing.
Challenging,
yes.
Experimenting, being curious.
And if you think of the different parts of vision, that's part of actually seeing, is to kind of observe.
Oh, okay.
And then, once you've observed, then you move into your space to move, which is animation. So animation is moving things. And once you start to move, you start to resonate with things. And resonation means if you resonate, there's a give and take.
Oh, interesting.
So if you resonate with a sound, it comes back to you as well. So it's about sending my voice out and seeing what comes back. Your voice sounds different in a big room than in
like
a cubicle.
Yes, or like a smaller area.
Yeah, it resonates differently.
Mm.
So that's how you resonate with the world. That's your first interaction with the world. And then you flow to nourishment. And you nurture your vision. You nurture through the shapes and textures.
Yes.
Yes. And the colours and vibrancy and all that. That's why art is such a wonderful way to nurture.
My goodness, yes.
And then we take it to another level. We take it from where we started to observe, and we're going to build in a next level. And it's actually called the builder. Because if you think about the builder phase, if you think about Lego blocks, you first have to observe what is there before you can start building your vision.
Exactly.
So that is such an interesting way to kind of work with that, And then, once you've started to build, then you're going to get feedback again. And you're going to internalize. Right. And that is a part of your space to grow. Because that is also part of where you start to change your interaction. And if you flow, and if you think about where we started with how you animate, how you start to move, that is usually starting from inside moving outwards.
In moving out, yes.
And now if you internalize, it's outside moving inwards.
Oh, so you've got both going.
That's
it's
right.
This way, it's coming back, like you said, like an echo or the resonance.
That's right. And then if you go to the next level of resonance, you actually have communication.
I've sent it out, and it's coming back.
That's right. And if you think about that communication, now it's first resonance is almost like testing the world and seeing what comes back. Communication is a new level of...
I have gotten feedback.
That's right.
Now how do I choose to interact?
That's right. And how do I interact with what's around me? How do I communicate with people around me, with the world around me?
Very interesting. Yes.
So resonance steps up to communication. And then if we go and we look at the last part, which started out as the nurturer, we've got synergy.
Oh my word. And
we
then
find everything
everything's
comes
coming
together. That's synergy. So if you think about your physical vision, you observe, it's like a feather duster.
Mm-hmm.
And with what you observe, you start to move in your mind.
That's right. Yes.
It's your space to see.
Yes, and then
you start and you resonate with what you see. Or you don't resonate, you have a choice.
And if you don't resonate, your eye will move to the next thing till
That's
you
right.
find something
That you resonate with. And then, if you find that's beautiful something you resonate with, it nurtures you.
It does.
And we all need that nurturing.
It's beautiful, yes.
You know, if you look at something like breast cancer, it often relates back to not nurturing the self.
Really?
Yes.
My goodness. So it's once again going back to a thought.
Yes.
A belief system.
And a belief system and subconscious levels that are there.
Maybe
So,
it's a message we received when we were 2 or 3 years of age.
or maybe we just got so wrapped up in being a parent or doing your work that you stopped nourishing yourself.
Oh my goodness.